Welcome to the pregame show for the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl, and we've got the big New England Patriot fan right over here, Rob, who has got to be excited heading into this game.
I mean, I got to say, Nick, I think you deserve a lot of credit for the Patriots getting into the Super Bowl because you were the brainchild of this podcast, and we got it going, and in year one of our teams made it in, so it looks good for the Cowboys next year.
Yeah, with the amount of hate that the New England Patriots get, don't put that on me, Rob. Don't put that on me, America. It was not I who brought the New England Patriots back into the fold here, but yeah, we got a big game heading into it, and obviously it's the Super Bowl, so it's going to be as big as it gets. And Rob has a little get-together coming in for this game, and we got some friends coming over, and we're going to get ready to watch it. Unfortunately, no live stream on this one, but
I have to be focused for this. But we've got the pregame show, so we've got that. But yeah, we're keeping it small because I made it very clear to anyone that wanted to come over that the focus was the game, not all the extravaganza that usually goes into the Super Bowl when your team's not playing with it. But we have Nick that'll be here, and then we have friends of the pod, Patrick and Stefan, that'll be joining us. So it's going to be a good time, and hopefully it'll end with me smiling and fist pumping and not with the other three people celebrating at my demise.
You think they're going to celebrate at your demise? I guess
maybe a little bit. Texan fans might be a little bitter.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. It was CJ Stroud game. Those are just your notes right over here.
Awesome.
Rob, but yeah, so I wanted to put a little game on for you because, we're going into this, and there's going to be a lot of players involved in prize picks, and a lot of people are going to be betting on it. But what I'm focusing on for you specifically, Rob, is the number one players that you need to perform well, and then also the number one players that you actually need to perform not so well for the Seattle Seahawks, as you're a New England Patriot fan, and who you're rooting on to do well to help you win the game. So I went through Prize Picks, and I've got some stats for you, or the over-unders that Prize Picks provides. No, they don't sponsor us. I would love for them to.
But if you want to sponsor us, Prize Picks, especially going into the UFL season, we are all for it.
Yeah, we're all for it, especially if you do UFL stuff, because you need content creators.
And or, if you're out there, you own a business, you want it advertised, our subscriber base is growing, over 3,000 subscribers. We're marching towards 4,000 right now. And get in on the ground floor and sponsor us.
Yeah, and so looking at the stats that are Prize Picks got the over-under on is we've got Drake May at 216 yards over and under. I got Stevenson at 48.5 over and under of 48.5 yards, and Stephon Diggs with 3.5 receptions.
Okay.
Before going into this game, if I told you you're only getting one of these for the New England Patriots to win this game, which one would you pick to get the over on?
If I could only get one of them, I would have to say Stevenson getting the over, and then getting more than 50 yards, but then also adding in 2 touchdowns because he is the wily veteran that we need in this game. We've got an all-star guy in Travion Henderson as a rookie who's played in huge moments before. He did win a national championship at Ohio State last year as a key member, but this is the Super Bowl. It's the next level, so we're not sure how he's going to perform. So out of all of those, I would say Stevenson, because if Stevenson's rolling, he can offset if Drake May is struggling.
So you're between those, the one that you think you need the most is Stevenson to get over the 48.
Yeah, if I could only get one of those three, that's what I would want. In reality, though, if things go the right way, I'm hoping it's actually the under because it's a balanced attack with him and with Henderson, and Drake May is able to spread the ball around. And then he'll still get those 1 or 2 touchdowns, but he doesn't necessarily need to have more than 50 yards.
Okay. All right, so a lot of rooting for Stevenson and essentially Henderson, too, as well.
Yes.
Rob wants the run game, and he wants it bad over there.
I do, and I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Justin, Jonathan, we see you. We have our first Super Bowl prediction in the chat. Jonathan says Pats win 17-9.
if the Pats are going to win, it's going to be a 17-9 game.
It's going to be that kind of game, yeah.
Yeah, they like to drag it into the mud, get them out in the deep, and be the ones that end up on the top.
Yeah, we'll get my official prediction towards the end of the show, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be something around first to 24 wins.
Wow.
If they can get that high.
Good weather, good offenses when they're in good weather, but the defenses are just stacked on both sides. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game overall. Yeah. So that's what the Patriots need to do to win the game. Essentially, you're just saying that in this case, according to the Prize Picks, you would just run the ball. I don't care if it's Stevenson. I don't care if it's Henderson. Those two just need to dominate the game and get over that.
Because if they start dominating, Drake May can relax. I think especially in Denver, we saw him trying so hard not to mess up. It was messing with his game. So if his weapons are helping him out, he can relax more, he can settle into the game, and he can start finding Matt Collins. He can start finding Stephon Diggs. He can start finding Kayshon Boutte and start, since it is Super Bowl Sunday, we'll use this quote, he can start matriculating the ball down the field.
Matriculating, big word. I like that.
Yes, I believe Hank Strom from the Kansas City Chiefs back in the day, I believe that was one of his quotes from like Super Bowl 4 maybe?
Slow bleed. Slow bleed, just slowly get on down the field. Well, on the other end of the field, though, they're going to have to stop the Seattle Seahawks, who have a lot of weapons. Ton of weapons. You got JSN, Sam Darnold, who is playing really, really well, especially in the postseason, and then Kenneth Walker as well.
And don't forget Cooper Kupp.
And Cooper Kupp, who I don't even have here, but yes, that's how many skill positions that they've got. It's a stacked deck and a really well-run offense. We talked about it before heading into the playoffs that this was one of the top 10 in both category teams that, 6% of the time they win the Super Bowl if you're top 10 in both categories. Seattle Seahawks were one of the qualifiers.
Yes, they are. It's not supposed to be easy if you're going to win a championship, that's for sure.
No. It's a really stacked team. So let's evaluate who they actually need to stop out there. And who would you prefer not do real well? So we got JSN with 0.5 touchdowns. I got Sam Darnold at 231.5 yards. And then I got Kenneth Walker with 0.5 touchdowns as well. So if you had to pick one to stop,
it'd be our reigning offensive player of the year, I believe. JSN is who you would have to, who somehow beat out Puka Nacua for it. I think that shocked a lot of people, but at the same time, he's so deserving of it, and he is a monster. I would assume Christian Gonzalez is going to, his sole focus of this game is going to be on JSN, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. And yeah, if he is on and he is getting everything he wants, then we're going to have that issue. But of course, that leads as we got the pregame on over here as I'm watching Rashid Shaheed walk by. There's another weapon for Seattle. There's a reason why they are favored. But you know what? There was once upon a time, there was a show called The Greatest Show on Turf, and they were the St. Louis at the time Rams, and they were favored by 14 points against the what are they doing here Patriots. Last I checked, 20-17, Patriots won that one.
So you're counting on the same thing happening over here. We were talking about it on the show too, that this is by far the best arsenal that the New England Patriots have played with maybe all year. The more I think about it, because when we started pondering it, I was just like, okay, it's just the playoffs, but I don't think it's just the playoffs. I think this is the best little weapon group that you guys have had to face all year with JSN, Cooper Kupp. We just talked about Rashid, and then Kenneth Walker Jr. out there in a pretty stacked offensive line. Skill position is going to be a tough thing for you guys.
We did go up against the vaunted Vegas Raiders in week 1. So vaunted, in fact, that whole coaching staff is gone. So, maybe it's far and away.
You couldn't beat them.
Somehow we couldn't beat them, but it worked out. It didn't end up mattering. We got lucky. But I got to say, this is far and away. Buffalo's the other one that's close, but they're not this good. So Seattle fans should be confident. Seattle fans can be cocky going into this, but you know what? We got to play the game.
Yeah, you definitely wanted to be cocky going into it. So prize picks, you're saying stop JSN at the very least, and then let the other ones do whatever they do.
Exactly.
And everything should be in good shape over there. I mean, multiple storylines heading into this game. We got Sam Darnold's story, just the fact that a lot of people have counted him out. He was backup over in Carolina. Him and the Bake Show were both at Carolina at one point together, looking like they were just going to be backups wherever they traveled to. And now Sam Darnold somehow found his way over to the Super Bowl. Are you nervous about his performance heading the game against New England?
Sam Darnold, he has earned everything he's gotten so far, but I gotta say, I'm not, because he is someone. He's had a good postseason, obviously, but he's someone that's proven you can get under his skin and you can get him to make one mistake, they can start to snowball. And this Patriots defense is designed to be able to do that. Milton Williams is ready, and he's ready to get back to back Super Bowl wins for two different franchises. I know other players have done it. The only one that jumps out in my head really is Deion Sanders back in the day when he went San Francisco to Dallas. I'm sure others have done it more recently, but Williams is ready to join that list. We got to see exactly what's going on with Spillane. I got to pull that up in a second to see if he's still questionable with his ankle. But otherwise, we're a pretty healthy team, and this defense loves to go for the home run.
They're a very aggressive style defense that tries to get interceptions out there. And Sam Darnold, throughout his entire career, that's one of the biggest problems with Sam Darnold is the fact that he does make mistakes and throw interceptions. He's reversed that big time joining the Seattle Seahawks. But if you can get back to the old Sam Darnold that we all know and love, sarcastically, those interceptions could come back and get him. And I'll tell you what, turnovers is going to be really, really big for the New England Patriots in this game, because I feel like those are the game-changing moments that the New England Patriots are going to need to get back into this. Not get back into it, but
But when we talked about it in our episode this week, I said a big key for the Pats was to stay close in the first half. So get back into it that's right there.
In every single New England Patriot game I've watched, and you guys can mock me or be upset with my opinion on it if I dissatisfy you with it, but every single one that I've seen, it's usually really close in the first half. They get like a 10-point lead, and then it just turns into a mud fest where the offense just can't score. Their offense, New England Patriots, don't even score, and both teams are forced to crawl to the end of the game, and New England Patriots end up on top. And I got to say, that's a good sign of coaching going into it. They do a great job making adjustments on great offenses out there, and a lot of credit has to go to Vrabel on that. And he doesn't allow his young quarterback to make multiple mistakes because he doesn't rely on him to, get out of those kind of jams too. And Drake May, we just talked about Sam Darnold. So Drake May's got a whole different story going in there. This is his sophomore season. Ends up having a really rocky postseason, but overall could be the MVP winner. Should have been, a lot of people would say.
Yeah, I mean, Stafford he's not that he didn't deserve it when you just look at the fact that look at all the weapons Stafford had for the Rams, but then look at how few weapons Drake May has comparatively. That being said, Stafford did it playing 8 games against the NFC West. So I've got no issue with it going to Stafford. Plus, Tom Brady, 3-time MVP. Every year that Brady won the MVP, the Patriots were not a Super Bowl champion. So I think May and everyone else would happily take winning today over May getting that MVP.
Obviously, I think all Patriots fans would agree with that. And so, Rob, you think it's just a good omen that he didn't win the MVP?
Yes,
and it's a good way to stop any sort of weird jinx things to happen for Drake May. So he comes into his second year in the league. did phenomenal. How do you feel, someone with his mindset, do you think he's going to be approaching this hyper nervous, or do you think Vrabel's going to calm him down? Are you worried about Drake May's performance going in? Because prior games, he hasn't looked too great, but I like to chalk it up to weather and just super psycho defenses that he's had to play all postseason.
And this defense is right up there with that as far as those psycho defenses go. But it's not snowing. It's not cold. The weather is good. I think Drake May is going to be fine. Hopefully, and I talked about getting the run game going, but I would love to see the first time the Pats get the ball just open up with like 3 straight passes. Nothing crazy. Like, they could be a couple slants, let him settle into the game, and then turn the running backs loose. I would love to see something like that happen.
So just don't do anything too crazy. Just run the ball. Rely on your defense to stop the Seahawks. Make sure that you stay within striking distance. And then in the second quarter or the third quarter, that's when you could start turning up that offense and starting to get those points.
I sure hope so. That would be awesome for sure. So, Nick, you've been asking me a lot about my thoughts. Why don't you tell me some of your thoughts? What do you see happening as far as those players? Who do you think's going to thrive? Who do you think's going to struggle? Where are you at with this?
I don't know who's going to thrive or who's going to struggle. I'll just be honest with it, because these are just a bunch of names that have not been in the Super Bowl for quite some time. Have not been in the Super Bowl period. A lot of new names in it, which is making the Super Bowl very exciting. But what I'm mainly focused on is that JSN Cooper Kupp. We were just talking about it with Shahid matchup against that vaunted secondary with Christian Gonzalez leading the crew for the New England Patriots. And by far, I think that's going to be the matchup I'm going to pay the most attention to, if those wide receivers can beat the New England Patriots, or if this young secondary is actually who we think they are and can stop players like this. That's where I'm going to be focused on. I actually don't have a prediction on who's going to win that matchup.
Fair enough.
And I don't have much on it, but whoever wins that matchup, I think, is going to be the winner of the game. That's what I'd focus on.
That's it. That's awesome. I love it. All right, chat. Why don't you let us know? It is Super Bowl Sunday. What are y'all up to? Is there certain foods that you're making? Are you out at a party? Pats fans, are you locked in just at home with maybe 1 or 2 people? What's on the menu? Let us know. We've got some good stuff going here. We got some Chef Nick over there has made some chicken skewers and corn. I've got a buffalo chicken dip that's coming out, and then Patrick and Nick are bringing some stuff as well. So we're going to eat well, we're going to drink well, and we're hopefully going to celebrate a Pats win. But what are y'all up to? Tell us. Drop it in the chat.
And I'm also curious about the drink of choice over there, and how many of you guys are buying Boston Lagers, which, by the way, Rob, I'm ashamed of you. Not one Boston Lager.
Yeah, but so here's the thing about the Boston Lager. I enjoy Sam Adams. But Sam Adams isn't something I'm constantly looking for and getting. But also a couple of years ago, you're the one that first pointed it out to me. They changed their lager recipe. It's a little hoppier now than it used to be. It's still a great beer, but it's not the Sam Adams Boston Lager that I'd be going for. If I was back in Rhode Island right now, I wouldn't be having one of those. I would most likely have some Narragansett Fresh Catch, or just some normal Narragansetts ready to fire, ready to go. But I mean, today we're rocking a lot of good Texas beers. We got a bunch of stuff from St. Elmo, so we're gonna have a good time. What about you? What would be your go-to?
Is me accusing you of you guys have to be drinking the Boston Lager the same way that you guys probably would accuse a Texan they have to be drinking Lone Star beer
or Shiner,
yeah.
Because Shiner's like the Sam Adams equivalent, I would say.
Yeah,
as far as size and distribution and all that.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you, Texans. Boston Lager's better.
You heard it here first. The Boston Lager is better. I enjoy myself a good Shiner every once in a while. But we're also super lucky here, and it's happening more and more up in New England too. There are so many good smaller breweries churning out a lot of good stuff. So it gives a ton of options. You're not necessarily just going to go for that. So yeah.
So what do we got so far? What is the chat bringing in?
So far we've got a couple predictions for Pat's victory. We've also got Jonathan. He's staying home with the kids, locking in because he doesn't want to have any distractions. Like I've told the guys coming over today, we're going to be locked into this game for sure. It's good.
Pretty excited about it. And then we also got some crazy NFL news. And the only reason why we're going to be bringing this up, I know this is the Super Bowl halftime or Super Bowl pregame show.
But the NFL marches on.
But the NFL marches on. And the only reason why we're going to bring it up is because Rob's been calling for this for quite some time. And the rumor mill out there is that the Arizona Cardinals might be trading Kyler Murray over to the Miami Dolphins for Tua, switching up the quarterback situation. Yeah. We know it's rumors, but the fact that Rob called this, back in October?
Yeah, I called it in the first half of the season. I'm like, they need to make that flip. The ESPN article that was out today, I think, simply stated that both teams are trying to move the quarterback, and they're both seeing that it's going to be hard. So that's why I'm just like, okay, connect the dots, you two. Connect the dots, make those flips. If I'm pretty sure there's less guaranteed time on the deal on Murray's deal versus Tua's, but even Tua, I think after next year, a lot of money falls off. I think it was top heavy, so there's no reason for both of them to not go ahead and make that flip while still building for the future. Miami has Quinn Ewers potential, depending on what the new coaching staff sees in him. And then the Cardinals really don't have anything else, but they can either draft or, I don't know if you saw this news early in the week, it's expected that Kirk Cousins, after a restructure, is going to be released.
Oh.
And if I was Arizona, if I was the New York Jets, or if I were the Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins reunion, I would be pushing hard to bring in a quarterback like Kirk Cousins on a short-term 1 to 2 year deal with the knowledge of you're not our future, you're our current as we figure out our next steps.
I think the Minnesota Vikings would be a good option for him just because he knows that system and actually played really well with that system.
Yeah.
Because whatever happened to Kirk Cousins after he left Minnesota is just god-awful. He did terrible in Atlanta.
But he got his paycheck.
He got his paycheck, but man, it's just insane how quick.
I think I would credit that. I would credit that a lot to saying that it's the issue in Atlanta. That's what I would say. It's Atlanta being a dumpster fire as it seems to always be. But hopefully now, they should have picked Belichick a couple years ago, and they didn't, and they've paid for it. And hopefully now that they'll get going on that. Stein, you said something about the most hilarious option. What do you think the most hilarious option would be for? I'm not sure if you're talking about where Tua would end up, or if you're talking about or Kyler, or if you're talking about Kirk. But go ahead, throw that in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking.
Now, knowing Stein, he's a big Cowboys fan, at least before the Micah Parsons trade. He's a little
Kirk to the Vikings. Yep.
Gotcha. He was saying that would be the funniest.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, Kirk to the Vikings. Although I think it works. I mean, I would take him if I was the Minnesota Vikings, especially with the questions about J.J. McCarthy. And you have a solid backup that can run the system and at least win in the regular season, unless Kirk Cousins might be mentally fried, and that very well could be accurate too.
For
I don't think he is, but could be.
Yeah, and Stein is also wearing a Cowboys shirt. He wanted to let you know.
There you go. Repping. If we're not here, we could be here at least for the Super Bowl. So
that the one other before we jump into our picks as far as who we think is going to win, score, and then we'll throw our MVPs in there. Chat, throw who you think is going to be the MVP as we're getting ready to wind down this pregame show and get ready to get locked in. The last bit of NFL news, which also this show predicted, Jim Schwartz resigns and he will be sitting out the season. So since he's under contract, and then he will have his pick of defensive coordinator jobs if he wants them after this year.
Yeah, you didn't have to be a magician or anything to figure this one out. It was pretty clear, according to the tea leaves. If you know anything about Schwartz and if you know anything about that situation, you knew Schwartz was going to find his way out because he was not going to like that news. And again, we said it on the show. He's got leverage. He could just sit out for a year. And where do you think he can go, Rob? anywhere
Yep.
in the NFL, because he's a hell of a defensive coordinator, and I think he'll do fine wherever he goes.
Yeah, I'd have to think like someone like the Jets might have jumped on him immediately to help stabilize that ship. Maybe, any of these new coaching options, he would have been on any of those staffs, or he probably would have more seriously pursued and been a serious candidate for some of these head coaching positions. And he didn't, because his number one choice was to stay in Cleveland. And apparently he thought he had it, and then he didn't. So there you go, Cleveland Browns. You're mentioned and talked about on Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe one day you'll get back and actually get here for the first time, but we'll see.
And I think they could. I think they could. It's just a couple things they got to get right. But this was such a bot job that I think it's going to take them a while to recover from this one. At least 2 to 3 years for the rebuild. So overall, not good thing for Cleveland. Me and Stein get it though. We've got kind of the same situation when it comes to joke organizations right now, except. More people pay attention and remind us when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys.
But speaking of those Cowboys, a little teaser preview for our Tuesday show. Obviously, we'll be recapping this Super Bowl, but we'll also, of course, be talking NFL news and some other stuff. And Jerry Jones had some pretty good interviews out there talking about the changes he wants to make. Nick Harris had a great interview with him, and we'll be talking about that and how it pertains to next season Tuesday night.
Yeah, I can't wait. It was a little... Sounds like some things are changing just a little, and that's good for Jerry Jones, and we'll get into full detail after that. So, Rob, it's that time.
It's that time.
You're picking the Seattle Seahawks, right?
No, I am not.
You've been saying it off air the whole time.
No, it is not the regular season. In the regular season, I will be very measured with my picks, but that certainly does not happen in the postseason. It's the Homer Hour for a reason. Remember, detractors, it's the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. We're going to support our teams. I've got the Patriots winning in what's going to be a tight one. I'm thinking 24-21 New England.
24-21 New England. Well, I got good news, and just like on the show before, if you didn't listen to it, I have faded the New England Patriots since after the Chargers. I did actually pick them on the Chargers, but then I started saying Houston's not going to win, or Houston should win that one. I didn't actually really pick Denver, but I had to for points, and it was more of a gimmick strategy. But either way, I picked Denver, and the New England Patriots ended up winning there. I got good news for you guys, though. It hasn't worked out for me, so why not? Why don't I just pick against New England Patriots, say that the Seattle Seahawks are going to win this thing?
Thank you, Nick.
And
thank you.
I'll put that in the universe because I am the jinx of all jinxes right now for them. So I'm picking the Seahawks to win it, though. I just overall, objectively, it's those weapons that I'm really concerned about. We're going to see how good this New England Patriots defense, secondary especially, is in this game, because this is going to be a heck of a matchup for them. And then on top of it, their defense is pretty stacked, really good. DeMarcus Lawrence, by the way, another Cowboy. We got to put this out in the universe, by the way.
Cowboy might get a ring.
Former Cowboy. 10 years ago today, DeMarcus Ware joined the Denver Broncos and ended up winning the Super Bowl in, guess where? San Francisco. Same place that they're playing today. It's also another DeMarcus, defensive end, moves on to another team.
Could happen again.
10 years straight to it. So
what's your score prediction on this one?
When it comes to the score, I'm looking at a little higher end score. If I'm predicting the Seattle Seahawks to win it, I would imagine they're going to get to 27, and I think the New England Patriots will get somewhere around 21 on that. So
all right. That's a solid prediction there. And then, of course, I'll give my pick for MVP first. It typically tends to go to the quarterback unless something crazy happens. So I'm going to say if it ends up being 24-21, I'm going to say that it's, of course, Drake May is the MVP. If somehow it's more of a score along the lines of what Jonathan picked, around 17-9 or so, I could see it either being Marcus Jones or Christian Gonzalez. But I'm going to say... there's Steve Young's coming out onto the field. Hi, Steve Young.
Yes.
But I'm going to say that it is Drake May.
It's going with Drake May, which I find kind of shocking because, like I said, if the New England Patriots end up winning this game, I guarantee you there's some big interceptions in there, and interceptions get you MVP votes. But do you think Drake May is just going to ball out?
Ooh, there's your boy Emmett if you want to wave at him or whatever.
Moment of silence. Take off your hats. And the guy really don't care about Eli Manning.
Yeah, no one cares about Eli. Peyton though, good to see Peyton.
Yeah, good to see Peyton.
All right, so what's your MVP pick?
The MVP pick now for the Seattle Seahawks, it is much easier because if everything is balanced and they're winning the game and playing really well, then you got to give it to Sam Darnold for not making too many mistakes. Even if his numbers aren't gaudy, you just got to lean with the quarterback winning the MVP.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's why I went with Drake May.
Like, even if JSN goes off, well, who gave him the ball? They're going to look at Sam Darnold. That's just the way it goes over there. So, my prediction, I'm going with Sam Darnold to win the MVP.
That's a pretty good pick. Sam Darnold winning the MVP. So with that, we're going to go ahead and say thank you all for joining us. Get excited about this game. We're excited about this game. If you haven't hit that like button yet, hit that like button as we wrap up. And it's going to be a real good Super Bowl. Those of you that like Green Day is now playing live, and we're getting closer and closer to kick. Have a good one, everyone.
See ya.